summoned to the Foreign Office, and he would be told about our concerns. I think as far as Mark Carney is concerned, I mean, these are, let's face it, initial days. And Mark Carney and his establishment, his dispensation, have made all the right noises in terms of, you spoke about this report, Maha came up with this, what she had said, that there's a report that
But
has come
Ambassador
up.
Sajjanar, these are not stray instances. In fact, there's a pattern if one starts talking about it from the shooting instances on several prominent Indians to the one which involves targeting the Indian High Commissioner. And remember, this comes after India and Canada have very cautiously moved ahead and trying to recover their relationship from the Naders it saw last year. So in the wake of that, how should Canada now be acting after this threat that has come out?
Yeah, no, you're right that, this is not the first instance. Much of what happened earlier was during the tenure of Justin Trudeau. And Mark Carney has, in his conversation at the G7 with the Prime Minister Modi, reassured that, action will be taken. So this is the first test case. So, as one would say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. So really, let's wait and see what, the RCMP and the Canadian intelligence agencies and the law enforcement agencies do about it. What is the action that they are going to take, because it's going to be on Thursday that they have said that they are going to lay a siege around our consulate in Vancouver. So we'll have to wait and see. And of course, as far as the consulate itself is concerned, we have to make all our arrangements in terms of ensuring that security, that no one is going out, and around.
Yes, I've won £1,000! Play bingo at Tombola for free! There's £100,000 to be won throughout September. Open for fun.
When our pets are happy, we see it in their eyes. Trusting, playful, relaxed. But look into some animals' eyes and you'll see something very different. Pain, fear, and rejection. All too often, their suffering goes unseen, behind closed doors. But at the RSPCA, we see them every single day, and we won't turn a blind eye. We'll rescue them from starvation, beatings, and neglect. But we can't do it without you. Please call 0800 032 1704 or text EYES to 84901 to give £2 a month. Because animals in urgent need depend on the RSPCA for their survival. And together, we can be there for them. Every day, your donation will help rescue more animals from misery and danger, and help more of them recover with expert care and love, until they can trust in people again. So please, start giving today, and put the happiness back in their eyes. Call 0800 032 1704, text EYES to 84901, or visit our website to start your monthly gift today. Thank you.
Our first year as a family flew by, and now I want to make sure he'll be financially protected for all his birthdays to come. That's why I'm calling Smart Insurance.
Hi, how can I help?
Hi, I'd like a quick quote for family life insurance.
OK, you can choose a benefit amount up to £750,000 depending on your age.
That's great.
If you're a UK resident aged 18 to 64, you can apply with just a few health and lifestyle questions, all done over the phone for instant peace of mind and protection for your family.
That's easier than I thought. And one less thing to worry about.
And we know family life doesn't wait. So as part of our Smart Family Guarantee, your loved ones are protected from day one. And for even more family protection, you can add cover for your children or critical illness. Plus, you'll also get your choice of a £125 gift card.
Protect the life you've built the smart way. To get a free quote today, call our specialist UK team on 0800 458 6963 or visit smartinsurance.co.uk.
Unexpected expense? Drafty's got your back. Borrowing £100 for a month costs less than £6. Apply at drafty.co.uk.
Everything changed when I decided to follow my passion and build a brand around what I love. We're finished there, and we're powered by Shopify.
अभी कल ही देश और दुनिया ने देखा है, फिर एक पाकिस्तानी आतंकी ने रो रो कर अपना हाल बताया है। साथियों, ये नया भारत है। ये किसी की परमाणु धमकियों से डरता नहीं है। ये नया भारत है, घर में घुसकर मारता है।
साथ ही पारंपरिक पगड़ी और पारंपरिक जैकेट भेंट करके माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का स्वागत कर रही हैं माननीय केंद्रीय राज्य मंत्री श्रीमती सावित्री ठाकुर जी।
Prime Minister Modi, my best wishes to you on your 75th birthday. I wish you good health and continued strength as you lead India's fantastic progress and contribute to global development. The Gates Foundation values our partnership with the Government of India immensely. Together, we are supporting progress towards Viksit Bharat and sharing lessons and innovations for the countries in the Global South. Once again, my warmest wishes to you on this milestone occasion.
All right, on that note, we slip into a short break. More news on the other side of India Global. Stay with us.
Landlords renting out a home, including the rent guarantee add-on to your residential landlord insurance means we'll pay if your tenant doesn't until they move out. So you can sleep easy. Search Direct Line Landlord Insurance today. Direct Line. That's how it's done.
Now that retirement's here, it's time for me to focus on the things that really matter in life, like making sure my family can manage funeral costs when I'm no longer around. Which reminds me,
welcome to British Seniors, the UK's #1 rated provider of over 50s life insurance.
Hi, I'd like a quick quote, please.
No problem. We're proud to offer our seniors lifetime guarantee. With 100% of claims having been paid, we guarantee your premiums will never go up and that you'll speak to one of our specialists in the UK. UK residents aged 50 to 80 are guaranteed to be accepted. Depending on your age, your loved ones can get a cash payout up to £10,000.
That money could help cover my funeral costs or be a gift for my grandson. I'll do it.
Plus, when you sign up, you'll receive a £135 gift card and free 24/7 GP advice and health services.
Be proud to protect your loved ones with British Seniors. To get a free life insurance quote today, call our UK team on 0800 881 5090 or visit britishseniors.co.uk.
Now, here's a big offer worth checking out. In People's Postcode Lottery's October draws, there's a share of £23.2 million to be won.
And to celebrate our brand new TV game show, Win-Win, we're offering new players the first month free when you sign up. For your first month's free entry, sign up before midnight on the 30th of September.
A share of £23.2 million could be yours, but only if your door is in the draw.
Unexpected expense. Drafty's got your back. Borrowing £100 for a month costs less than £6. Apply at drafty.co.uk.
When facts are fragmented, we put the pieces together. Where power collides with truth, we are there.
Behind me is that massive security arrangements that are in place.
Behind fractured boundaries, we clear the fog of war. Fault Lines with Gaurie Dwivedi, only on NDTV World.
in as many as 12 to 14 months. Now, what's happening in Maldives right now is that the Maldivian parliament has passed a controversial media regulation bill in a special session this week, even as journalists, opposition MPs, members of the public have all staged protests against the law outside the premises. Now, what does the bill do? It abolishes existing media councils, creates a new commission that's answerable only to the president and his parliamentary allies. Now, this body would have sweeping powers to impose heavy fines, suspend registrations of media outlets, block websites it feels that are violating the new law, and even halt broadcasts, all without a court order. Now, these are very draconian orders that are being passed. And let's not forget, this is happening at a time when, as I said, India's neighborhood has seen turmoil. It's not even been a fortnight since Nepal saw those violent protests, well, which ostensibly started because of a social media ban. Those 26 apps that were banned started and reignited that protest and really acted as a trigger, which is why I'm going to now get in Aman Halim, who's the editor of one of the magazines, in fact, an online portal, to talk more about the significance of this and what's the people's mood right now with these extremely draconian or sweeping measures that the president is coming out with. Mr. Halim, tell us, what are your thoughts on this proposal?
Thank you for the opportunity. You're very right when you are labeling this bill as a draconian bill, because what we are seeing here is an attempt by the government to curb the rights guaranteed under our constitutions for freedom of expression and for the right to journalism. Now, this the provisions that curb the freedom of expression and this bill, when it first came into parliament, it was submitted to the parliament by an independent member, and the government refused to take ownership of this bill. And they said this was submitted by an independent member, and we will listen to the public and the journalists and address whatever concerns that we as journalists had, and the public who are also going to be regulated through this bill. I will get into it a bit later. So this bill was submitted to Parliament on the 19th of August, and this bill was submitted at a time when the Parliament was going to be in recess. But what we saw was, as soon as the bill was submitted to Parliament and after the initial reading of the bill, we saw an attempt by the government and government-affiliated MPs to fast-track the bill and make sure that this bill comes into law at a time when there is a lot of talk about curbing dissidents, and we are also going through a time.
What's the general mood like, Mr. Halim? What's the general mood like with these?
The general mood among the journalists, it's very dire. But one thing about the public is, I do not think there is a big disinformation campaign carried out by the government regarding the implications and the actual outcome of this bill. So at this point, I do not think the public are very much aware of the implications and the outcomes of this bill and how much it actually applies to them. Right now, we are seeing outcry by the journalists. Even now, we are requesting, we are appealing to the government and the president to not ratify this bill and send it back to the parliament. And what we are asking of the parliamentarians and the government is to, if the policy of the government is to regulate media, yes, media should be regulated. Disinformation should be something that the government should be able to put a curb on. But what we are asking from the government and the parliamentarians is, please involve us in this process. So
disinformation campaign or ensuring that you check all efforts of disinformation is one thing, but in the garb of that, coming out with very sweeping powers that curb freedom of expression is where the problem is.
Yes, and I would like to mention at this point that our advocacy on the part of Maldives Journalists Association and around, I think, according to the Maldives Journalists Association, there are around 210 active journalists in the Maldives, and there was a petition signed by 150 plus journalists that was submitted to the parliament and the president. And
Right.
I would like to say we managed to force, rather, I would say, the government into making changes
Okay.
that allowed the current commission that is going to come after the bill is ratified, sweeping powers, as you mentioned, to access
All right.
journalist devices without court orders and to suspend
Absolutely.
work. Now
And
we have a court
I'm going
process
to
in
touch
between.
base with you again, because this is a story that could have many implications, and it has impact for the entire region, and New Delhi would be keeping a close watch on that as well. I'm going to leave it there. And Halim, thanks so much for speaking to me on India Global. Well, turning attention now to Donald Trump, who is on a visit to the UK. But guess what is actually now overshadowing that entire visit? That is Jeffrey Epstein. And there are now these images that have been put on the castle where Donald Trump is going to be staying, with a lot of protesters registering their protest as far as Trump's UK visit is concerned. The shots that were shown shortly before Trump's arrival in Britain included the president's mugshot, portraits of Epstein, and that is something that may dominate British headlines. But beyond that, there are a bunch of large investments that are also likely to be finalized. That includes £5 billion in terms of AI being a key area where they would be focused on, and a data center as well in that region. But as far as Donald Trump is concerned, there you can see that image. That is likely to dominate headlines, and how much of that is going to overshadow the significance of this visit. Let's get in Professor Scott Lucas to talk more on this. Professor Lucas, whenever there's Donald Trump's visit to the UK, it gets a lot of headlines, but maybe for all the wrong reasons. That mugshot is all that everybody's talking about. What about those billion-dollar investments that he's hoping he will finalize?
Well, it's a battle for the narrative. I mean, let me give you a different headline rather than Donald Trump's visit to UK, which is factually true, which would be convicted felon, sex abuser, fraudster, visits UK. Because Donald Trump is all of those, but he also happens to be the president of the United States. I mean, that's why he's there in part to show himself off. So do you have the focus not only on Epstein, but on Trump's very, very checkered past? Or do you have the focus, which is what the UK government as well as Trump will want, which is, oh, look, we have these technology deals over AI, over chips, over nuclear energy. This shows that despite Trump's tariffs, and despite his fairly chaotic approach to foreign policy, including the threats, by the way, to pull back from the UK's security, that everything is alive and well. And we don't know how it will play out here. I mean, we don't know if Trump will play nice. He was actually what we call rage tweeting at 3:30 this morning, UK time, about the US courts, about US judges. But the UK is pursuing damage limitation here. They want to limit the Trump tariffs, as India does, of course. And they also want to limit
I'll ask
that
my director to increase the audio there, because I really want to hear some of those pearls of wisdom that you're actually giving right now. But the other thing I want to focus on is that there is a trade deal that has been finalized. And there's also a sense that the US-UK relationship, barring the initial hiccups that it saw when Donald Trump came into Oval Office, has almost recovered from that initial hiccups. How do you see the lasting impact of this visit right now, from a political point of view, from a strategic point of view, and of course, you know, the billion-dollar investments that are likely to be finalized?
Again, I stress it's not recovery here. It's actually damage limitation. And I say that for two reasons. One is that remember that the UK still has tariffs of at least 10% under the so-called framework with the United States. And tariffs hurt American consumers, American manufacturers, but they hurt UK companies. And that framework has not been turned into a deal. So the 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum still remain. And in fact, talks over them collapsed this week. So that threat is still there. And then there's another threat, which is that the Trump camp, Trump may not say it himself, but there are those around Trump who are in the UK who are promoting the opposition reform party. This is the hard right party of Nigel Farage. And they have for weeks months been saying he should be the one in government. Now, do they continue to do that and maneuver behind the scenes? Or again, do they play nice with the current Starmer government?
All right, we leave it there. Professor Lucas, we're going to have this chat again after that visit concludes to identify what were the specific areas where the US-UK relationship made progress, even as those British headlines are going to be all about that mugshot of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. Let's leave it there. And that with that, viewers, we come to an end of this edition of India Global. Thanks so much for watching.
Right now, terrible things are happening to donkeys. They work all day in the blistering sun, without food or water. They're suffering silently, while their backs are breaking. Some are being abandoned and will be left to die alone. But the worst thing you can do to a donkey isn't to break its body. It's to break its heart. Because donkeys are loyal, loving creatures. They trust us to care for them. And when they're hurt and abused, they feel it inside too. But right now, you can do something incredible for donkeys. You can support the Donkey Sanctuary. Just call 0800 035 9318 and give £2 a month. Because your support can help protect donkeys. You can help us to treat the sick and the injured. You'll help to mend broken hearts, so that they can learn to love and trust again. Right now, so many working donkeys around the world are suffering. But we can only be there for them with your help. So please, call 0800 035 9318 or text HEART7 to 78866 and give £2 a month to the Donkey Sanctuary, because terrible things are happening to donkeys. Please, do something incredible for them right now.
It feels good knowing that your future's in hand. Evlo can offer you a loan from £1,000 to £15,000. Get your conditional decision in minutes.
Sometimes it's the little things that remind us of them. Stay close, even when you're far apart. Send money worldwide with Remitly.
At Amazon, over 50% of deliveries now come with less packaging. Or no added packaging at all. We're delivering change where it matters. On your doorstep.
This is an important message for people living with diabetes from people living with diabetes.
When I was experiencing the symptoms of diabetes, I didn't know what was going on.
You go on the internet and it's full of horror stories.
I didn't understand about carbs, I didn't understand about blood glucose levels.
That's why the support I get as a Diabetes UK member is so important.
You can become a Diabetes UK member for just £3 a month. When you do, you'll receive a practical guide specific to your type of diabetes and a copy of Balance magazine 4 times a year. Plus, you'll help support research that could lead to better treatments for all types of diabetes.
As members, we're all working it out together.
Call 0800 144 5410 or go online to become a Diabetes UK member for just £3 a month. Join us now, because membership can help you learn to live better with diabetes.
However you choose to say goodbye, we help you own it.
he has done.
What would you like to say to Mr. Nara Lokesh, who's now pitching for them to move to Vizag?
Yeah, definitely, we do expect competition from the neighboring states. Even they would like to attract. See, Bangalore is Bangalore. Nobody can even come closer. That is different. You let them pitch. We have got no objections. But we always try to keep our people in a comfort, and will ensure whatever might be their grievance or challenges, whatever problems they've been facing, will definitely address strongly.
Right.
Whatever much more fund or investments
you feel the government will be able to provide the funds that are required here in this case to improve the infrastructure in the city?
Yeah, definitely will compel them
Okay,
as a responsible opposition, will compel and ensure